Where do I even start? Where do I even start? 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, 7 threes, 11 for 20 in only 31.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, diehard hoop heads and casual fans, gather round. Grab your popcorn, strap in tight, and get ready for the most delicious dose of instant karma the WNBA has served in years. Because what went down on Saturday, June 14th? That wasn't just a basketball game. That was a reckoning. A masterclass in payback. A symphony of vindication. It was proof that every now and then, the basketball gods lace up their sneakers, step onto the court, and deliver justice with the precision of a no-look dime and the sting of a killer crossover.
Back. Caitlin Clark drops 35 after her 5-game layoff from injury. It was at a point where she scored 9 points in less than 45 seconds. I mean, crossing the half-point line, one dribble, and just pulling it from the logo. Like, these plays are just...
The Indiana Fever stormed into Gainbridge Fieldhouse with a clear objective: deliver the New York Liberty their first loss of the season. And leading that mission, none other than Caitlin Clark. Back from a 5-game injury hiatus, she didn't just return. She came to remind the world why she's the most electrifying force in women's basketball.
Well, the Indiana Fever, I'm watching it. It just went final. 102-88 over the league undefeated, now defeated, New York Liberty. New York Liberty, Stephanie White did.
The Liberty strutted into the building flaunting their flawless 9-0 record like they owned the league. Spoiler alert, they were about to get hit with a reality check so ruthless, it made a tax audit feel like a day at the spa. But this wasn't just another game. This was personal. This was about payback, about settling scores and balancing ledgers that had been lopsided for far too long.
The Indiana Fever say, come on, New York. Come on. Somebody's got to give you this first L, and I guess it's going to be us. No Jonquel Jones, but the Indiana Fever handled business. 102-88. We finally hit triple digits thanks to CC22.
See, the last time these two teams clashed, the drama was thicker than your grandma's Thanksgiving gravy. In the final seconds, Natasha Cloud, New York's defensive enforcer, ripped the ball from Caitlin Clark. Clark was certain she'd been fouled. The whistle stayed silent. The call never came. What followed was a lingering grievance, a wound that didn't heal, and a memory that burned hotter than a phoenix summer.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Caitlin Clark put on the show, dropped 25 in the first half. Then she was diamond it here, diamond it there. They scored over 100 points first time in the season, and they gave New York Liberty their first L. Take that L, go back to the Hudson River, and go back to New York with that L. You know what I'm saying? And I can't stand Sabrina. I'm going to call her Sabrina, I flop you. Because all she does is flop. I can't stand Sabrina Ionescu. She's a flopping machine. I'm glad she's taking that L today. Caitlin Clark, 32 points, 7 for 14 from 3. That's 50%, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. She almost had a double-double, almost close to...
If you're enjoying this ride, don't forget to subscribe, because it's just getting good. Caitlin Clark had spent 5 long games watching from the sidelines, nursing a quad injury while her team struggled and WNBA ratings sank like a stone. With viewership down a jaw-dropping 55% in her absence, the league got a harsh wake-up call. Their golden goose wasn't just a star. She was the engine. Trying to run the W without her, it was like launching the next installment of a blockbuster franchise without the lead. Technically doable, but nobody was buying tickets. Then came Saturday. Clark didn't just return. She erupted, like a lightning strike in a firework factory. She had a mission, and etched in bold, permanent ink at the top of the list, Natasha Cloud.
Caitlin Clark, 9 points in 20 or 38 seconds. Oh my goodness. Came back to back logo threes. For a minute, man, I told the chat, call the cops on Caitlin Clark for logo abuse. Oh my goodness, man. She was killed.
From the opening tip, the air inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse crackled with electricity. The Liberty came out blazing, racing to a 17-6 lead and looking every bit like the defending champs they are. Crisp ball movement, confident shooting, and the swagger of a team that hadn't tasted defeat in weeks. For a moment, it felt like Caitlin Clark's return might be a quiet subplot instead of the headline. But then, with just over 3 minutes left in the first quarter, Something shifted. Clark drove, took the contact, and finished the and one. And in that moment, you could see it, the spark in her eyes. The flicker that said, I'm back.
Indiana Fever. That is Fever basketball at its finest. Fever ball at its finest. As a team, by the way, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The least turnovers the Fever have had in a game as a team.
What happened next was nothing short of basketball poetry, composed in real time. Signed Caitlin Clark. In just 38 seconds, she uncorked 3 consecutive three-pointers from distances that would make NASA double-check their coordinates. 33 feet, 27 feet, 31 feet. All net. No hesitation. No mercy. The arena didn't just erupt. It detonated like Mount Vesuvius. Suddenly, the game was tied at 24, and the vibe had shifted from hopeful to historic. This wasn't just basketball anymore. This was Clark delivering a message loud enough to echo through every arena in the league. She was back. The injury hadn't dulled her edge. And she had unfinished business. She was launching missiles from zip codes that require a GPS, and each one dropped as effortlessly as autumn leaves in October.
3 threes in 38 seconds in the first half. Caitlin Clark hit 3 logo bombs, by the way. 3 logo bombs in 38 seconds. This was the Caitlin Clark we all said, oh, she's different. she's sent from outer space. The Caitlin Clark that we saw today was the Caitlin Clark that we were accustomed.
By halftime, Caitlin Clark had already poured in 25 points, including 6 three-pointers, the most she's ever scored in a single half as a pro. The Fever held a slim 53-50 lead, but the real shift was written in the Liberty's eyes. That confident gleam, gone, replaced by a creeping shadow of doubt. This wasn't the storyline they'd scripted for their undefeated season. The third quarter opened with New York landing a quick 9-0 run, a last-ditch effort to wrest control and reclaim momentum. For a moment, it worked. The Liberty looked alive again, like they had found their rhythm, but then came the response. And it wasn't subtle. The Fever dropped a 19-0 blitz, a basketball nuke that left the Liberty dazed, scrambling, and searching for the rim like it had vanished. Every time New York tried to push back, Clark met them at the edge with a cold-blooded answer. A step back. A logo 3. Another dagger from deep. Every time they thought they had her figured out, she reached back into her bag and pulled out another trick. Like a magician with a bottomless top hat and a flair for the dramatic.
The best and most elite performances we have ever seen from Caitlin Clark. Now, I got to remind everybody about this. Caitlin Clark is coming off an injury, bro. What we seen today was greatness. This was similar to the Michael Jordan flu game. I mean, it's up there type deal, bro. Caitlin Clark just handed the New York Liberty the ass whooping of a lifetime. And what's crazy about all of this is that the referees couldn't even save them. See, last time the referees was able to save New York and they walked away with the victory. The game was so far out of reach, the referees had to.
And through it all, there was Natasha Cloud, doing everything she could to contain the uncontainable. Trying to stop a basketball supernova with the equivalent of an umbrella in a hurricane. The irony? Chef's kiss. The same player who had snatched victory from Clark's hands in their last meeting was now left watching helplessly as Clark dismantled the Liberty's perfect season piece by piece. When the final buzzer echoed through the arena, the scoreboard read 88-103. Clark had racked up 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and tied her career high with 7 three-pointers. But as dazzling as the numbers were, they only scratched the surface, because this wasn't just about stats. This was a message. A reckoning. A scoreboard sermon on vengeance, poise, and firepower. The Fever set a franchise record with 17 made threes, shooting a blistering 48.6% from deep. They cracked triple digits for the first time all season. And most importantly, they handed the mighty, undefeated Liberty their first loss. And they did it with Caitlin Clark out front, not just playing, but leading. A general in sneakers, commanding the moment, owning the narrative, and reminding the league exactly who she is.
I'm glad that New York got that L. They should have got the L the other game. Now they just got what they deserve. Okay, but Caitlin Clark went off. I'm happy. That is what people pay to see. Do you see the difference when Caitlin Clark is on the floor? She makes the whole offense way better. The offense is better. They're clicking. They're getting to...
For the Liberty, this wasn't just a tally in the loss column. It was a reality check served cold. wrapped in humility, and delivered with a generous slice of humble pie. Sabrina Ionescu did everything she could, dropping 34 points. Brianna Stewart added 24. But even their combined firepower couldn't stop the storm that was Caitlin Clark, tearing through Indianapolis like a tornado with a grudge. The Liberty came in as the league's final unbeaten team. They left with their perfect record in pieces, and their confidence cracked. And then, of course, there was the not-so-small matter of Natasha Cloud. The same Natasha Cloud who just weeks ago had stood tall in her defensive glory, now found herself helpless in the eye of one of the most electric individual performances the WNBA has seen in years. The basketball gods, as it turns out, have a wicked sense of humor. And on this night, they penned a redemption arc so poetic, it could have been written in the stars. This was Caitlin Clark's night, and Cloud, she was just a supporting character in the sequel she never saw coming.